everyone, Nathan Hall here. We're doing a couple lessons on Earth science. We're going to look at earthquakes, we're going to look at faults. We're going to look at why Pennsylvania doesn't have very many earthquakes. Puerto Rico has a lot of them. California has a lot too. Why some places have more than others and what causes them. So in live class we'll talk about how science class is going, and we'll talk about these cookies, because these show how earthquakes happen. If you imagine this is the ground beneath you, the lithosphere, that's what happens each time. So what it comes down to, when we have an earthquake, we stand on something called the lithosphere. That's the crust, the top layer of the earth, you can see there, the part we can actually see. Down here you'll melt. It will burn you alive. Trust me, it gets hotter as you go down. You don't want to go too far. And so what happens, this is made up of different plates, different pieces that will shift, and sometimes they crash like that, or one slips under, or slide side by side. That's why you have earthquakes. So imagine if I get a wooden stick, if I bend it, eventually breaks. Same is true of rocks. Sometimes they break. When I pull on a drawer, sometimes it opens smoothly, sometimes it's shut. Why? Kind of the way our faults move. Sometimes they move smoothly, other times slam into each other. They break. They cause problems. The result? Earthquake! You can see here, a fault is where the two slides meet. A fracture, a break in the lithosphere. Stress. We push on an object, we pressure it. So in live class, here's some words we'll talk about. El terremoto, an earthquake. El derrumbe. There's one of these in Puerto Rico. Was that last year or 2 years ago? Recently. Forest fires, not such a big deal. But yeah, earthquakes, sometimes get them in Pennsylvania. So where are the plates located? Where are the faults located? On plate boundaries. And the whole point of an earthquake, how much stress builds up, how they move. So I'm curious if anyone here has been in an earthquake. I have, not very big ones. Why does Puerto Rico have more? Because Puerto Rico is down here below Florida, right next to this red line, and Pennsylvania is over here. So when there's a break, Puerto Rico gets the shock. Pennsylvania, not so much. Some other things to worry about. The big one, avalanche. I'm not going to make this vocabulary word. These we'll talk about next class. Volcanoes, tornadoes, not a big deal here. So earthquakes, under the oceans, they can cause what's called a tsunami. Huge tidal wave coming in. But you can see here, crust, pieces of the earth joined together. And sometimes this is how Puerto Rico was formed. So a big thing are continents. These big things, these huge things. North America is one. Africa is one. If you think they could all join together like a puzzle, you're right. And they did once. That's why we find dinosaur parts everywhere. Back when dinosaurs were around, they wandered all over the place. But now things are more spread out. So you'll find some kind of dinosaurs in Pennsylvania. You can also find, where's North America on this map? It should be up here. In Africa. And China even. So continents move, they can also push together. They can that's how we get this. Mount Everest, the world's biggest mountain. All the Himalaya mountains caused by two plates pushing together. So quake means to shake. We'll talk about this in live class, why we're called the Quaker state, even though we don't have earthquakes. So how mountains are made, remember it can push together. Also magma comes out, the stuff underneath from under the lithosphere. And why we can find bones, dinosaurs walked all over the place. So how an earthquake works, it's like when you throw a little rock into a pond, see the waves. Same sort of thing, where that break is, waves come out, seismic. You're going to hear Miss Jean Julio say that word a lot. Recorded by sensitive instruments. The focus, the main point, they move out from the epicenter, the middle. A lot of vocabulary this lesson. So you'll see here the quakes spread apart, and they can happen anywhere along the area. Here we can see the focus is the middle. epicenter, where it happens right above the ground. And if you're right here, your city's going to get all shaken up. Over here, not so bad. So, Puerto Rico, Pennsylvania, more shaken, less shaken. We have nasty winters. So waves are part of everyday life. You hear music, you hear waves. See this slinky here? Waves. Go to the ocean? Waves. What happens? Particles, little pieces moved out of position. That's what creates them. So you've been to the beach, you've seen waves come in, particles, very tiny pieces of something. If you ever see light, see those little pieces there? That's particles. So the types of waves, primary, this I might actually drill you on just for a homework to see how well you can read a graphic. They come out first. Those are going to be the most powerful ones. Secondaries, they go out at a different angle, different direction. And surface, move outwards. So scientists all over the world know when it happens. You see this word seismo, it's going to mean earthquake. They use these seismographs to do it, and they scribble out what's happening. Seismogram is a recording made by a seismograph. Okay, so our vocabulary. I should really make a big list here before I upload this lesson. But be sure you know fault, stress, earthquakes, what a lithosphere is, what an earthquake is, plates, epicenter, pretty much everything on this slide, and this one. And you'll be good to go. Alright, so that's it for me. You'll have some vocabulary words down below. Any questions, come to the live class. Adios.